Alright, so this segment is about the glue. So this is dehydrated hide glue. This is the granular stuff. If it's good quality, you want around 5 parts water, 1 part glue. I prefer 6 parts water and 1 part glue. So that's how much glue I'm using. It's just under 1/4 cup. So right here I have a coffee cup and just a pot of water to boil. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to put my 6 parts water in there and heat it up and stir it. I want to tell you guys about another source of glue that you can use. And that is Knox unflavored gelatin that you can just buy from the grocery store. It is the exact same thing as hide glue. The only difference is that it's edible. It's food grade. It's a lot more pure than this is, except this is very good glue and so is Knox unflavored gelatin. The proportions are the same and the properties are the same. It's just an easier source of hide glue to find. This stuff is a little more, well, it was made, to be hide glue. So I trust it more. I've never used Knox gelatin, so I know a lot of people do and they do it successfully. So that's why I'm telling you guys about that. So for my tools, I have my hands, I have a pencil, I have some paper towels, and I have my bow. Before I do anything to this bow, I need to sand the back of it because there are oils that found their way on the surface of the wood and they will interfere with the glue, so you want to sand it. I wouldn't use anything, I wouldn't finish the back of the bow with anything grainier than 120 grit. I see a lot of people roughing out the back of their bow with hacksaw or something, and I think that weakens the bond between the sinew and the wood. Sinew needs a flat surface to stick to, because the glue itself is stronger than the wood, and it's stronger than the sinew. So you need a flat surface, not a rough surface. A rough surface is a detriment to the bond of the sinew and the wood, in my opinion. So I'm waiting until this water in here cools down enough to put my sinew in there. I hold my fingers in there and I can stand it. I don't take my fingers out right away. So it's cool enough to where it won't damage the sinew. Oh, another thing about the glue is you don't want to get it too hot or else you'll destroy the proteins that make it a glue. Don't simmer it, don't bubble it, just get it hot enough to be warm. So I'm going to put my sinew in here. I can probably fit like 4 bundles at a time. So I'm going to get that down here. Alright, so now we need to do what's called sizing the bow. I just sanded it and it's nice and clean all the way from the center to just below the knock here. So I'm going to take my finger, dip it in this glue, and then dip it in this water and spread it on the back of this bow. Put some glue and then some water. You want watery glue for this, not the thick stuff, because the thick stuff won't soak into the wood as well. And that's what this is doing, is the glue is soaking into the wood's absorbing it, and then when the moisture leaves, there's going to be traces of glue left in the fibers at the back of your bow. And this is going to help the sinew and the bow become one ambiguous piece. It'll be one solid backing. And you want to do this about 3 or 4 times. If it's a softer wood like juniper, you'll need, about 7 coats, because the glue's going to want to soak in more. Don't worry about oils from your hands at this point. It's not going to matter that much. Make sure it's nice and watery, you don't want it too thick. So I'm putting some more water on here right now. Alright, now you want to let that dry. And do your next 4 coats the exact same way, letting them dry in between. And after you do the 3 or 4 coats of watery glue, over the top of that you're going to put a good layer of the thick original glue that we're using for sinew backing. Alright, so I just put on the thick coat of glue. That's the last coat. So I'm going to take one of my sinew bundles here out of the water. Then I'm going to squeegee all the water out of it. Alright, so now I'm going to dip it in the glue. Make sure to get both ends really well. Alright, so you have that. So now I'm going to squeegee the glue out. Alright, and all my fibers are straight, the bundle is flat. I'm going to lay it right in the very center of my bow. Gonna get it as straight as possible. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to smear this sinew down. And that ensures me that there's a good bond. Alright, so there's your first one. Here's my second one. Alright, and I'm going to overlap it about an inch. Make sure it fades good. Alright, I'm going to straighten it out. Make sure no fibers are crisscrossing each other. It's okay if a couple do it, but you don't want a bunch of tangled fibers. You want them, most of them to run straight down the bow, so they won't be strained in any awkward way. Make sure you lay them down good. You want to smear them down as well as you can. You want them to be part of the wood. So. You can sort of steer the sinew as you go along with your smearing stick. Alright, so it looks for the ends. I'm going to have to make some custom sinew bundles. So we'll do one end first. So what I need is a pair of scissors. I have some somewhere. Alright, I'm going to look for scissors real quick. Alright, so I found some scissors. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one end flush, and for a very good reason. Alright, that's the part of the sinew that's going to be resting up against your string here. You can't put them through the string, so you have to compensate. So I'm going to lay that there. I'm going to measure here. I want 1 inch fade. So I'm going to spread it out right here. And just cut all the fibers different lengths. That should be good. So I'm going to dip it in the glue, squeegee it, straighten out any fibers that I can, make it flat. And lay it right there. It's a little longer than an inch of an overlap, so that's fine though. Alright. I actually have to move it a bit. If you mess up, you can always fix it. I think this bundle had a couple shorter fibers in it. And that's what you do for the end.